Happy Juneteenth, everybody. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time to be alive. It's a wonderful day to celebrate. I hope that you all are doing just everything. I hope you all are doing the most today to celebrate this amazing and very, very special day. It's particularly special to me because 1 year ago today, I released finally, the Jazz in the Spirit album in CD form, in digital form, and it was a massive undertaking. It took me 21 years to finish, but I'm so glad that 1 year ago today, I released it to the world, gave birth to my baby. And so it was what I called a release commemorating a release. And even as it took so long to come to the world, the same way our folks had to wait so long for that promise to be fulfilled. But we thank God that it was. And so I'm just very, very grateful to be able to celebrate this special day with you all today. So before I get started with everything, I'm just going to, hey, Dr. Will, good to see you, sir. I'm going to start off with what was the lead-off song from Jazz in the Spirit, which is Look and Leah. Listen for your voice.
I got a word from the Lord. Hallelujah. I got a word, oh my friend, for you. It's recorded in His word. Hallelujah. It's a thing that you
see if you can sing it. You get that swell in there. That's right there. Brother Moses, good to see you. Thanks for being here. It's recorded in his word, hallelujah, and it's only that you look and live. Brother Jerry Isaac is on the line here. He was one of the singers who recorded that. So, Brother Jerry, it's so good to see you again, and happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth, Brother Moses. Happy Juneteenth, Brother Will, and everybody else who's watching. This is a tremendous day of celebration, and listen, it was anyway. But the addition of a recognition by the federal government is just icing on the cake, y'all. We've been celebrating Juneteenth for a long, long, long time. So, and we gonna celebrate Juneteenth no matter what. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a good thing for it to be acknowledged on a wider scale. So I'm just gonna, let me pull it up. I'm gonna read you all just a little bit about the, just this day, because I think it's just always important to give some history about what Juneteenth is all about. So Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States. And this comes from the website juneteenth.com, which I highly recommend you check out. From its Galveston, Texas origin in 1865, the observance of June 19th as the African American Emancipation Day has spread across the United States and beyond. Today, Juneteenth commemorates African American freedom and emphasizes education and achievement. It is a day, a week, and in some areas a month, marked with celebrations, guest speakers, picnics, and family gatherings. And I'm gonna go ahead and amend that word right there to, let's say family meals. Because that word picnic, unfortunately, that one has a lurid history too in our history, but I'm not gonna go into all of that, but we're gonna revisit that word. It is a time for reflection and rejoicing. It is a time for assessment, self-improvement, and for planning the future. Its growing popularity signifies a level of maturity and dignity in America long overdue. In cities across the country, people of all races, nationalities, and religions are joining hands to truthfully acknowledge a period in our history that shaped and continues to influence our society today. Sensitized to the conditions and experiences of others, only then can we make significant and lasting improvements in our society. So I'm gonna pause right there and take a little swig. Now, one of the traditional, the colors of Juneteenth is red. And strawberry soda, hibiscus tea, those kinds of things are very much in order. Yes, watermelon, red velvet cake, go ahead and eat it. And here's to Juneteenth, Instagram folks. I don't know if you could say. This is also my special little Jazz in the Spirit mug that my wife created, and I'm really excited about that. So you see the date, June 19th, 1865. So this was the day when it took federal troops coming into Galveston, Texas, to make sure that actually what was supposed to happen did happen. And this was the actual, it's called General Order Number 3. The people of Texas are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the executive of the United States, all slaves are free. Can you imagine hearing that for the first time when you've been enslaved all your life? Oh my God. This involves an absolute equality of rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired laborer. Wow. I mean, you talk about a game changer. Now, of course, we know that, as with so many things, rules can be written, but they still have to be enforced. And there are all kinds of problems with trying to make that dream a reality, which we still struggle with today. But I think it's still worth celebrating that that happened, and I know that we are a long way from out of the woods, and there are still important conversations that need to happen about the teaching of what the impact of racism and slavery on our culture as an American country and the impact on the world, and also the conversation about what to do about it, i.e. things like reparations, affirmative action. Some of those kinds of things are very important to still be discussed, as well as the hot topic of the day, which is, excessive policing and unfair treatment in the criminal justice system. So none of those negate the victory that some very hardworking folks in Congress who've been working for a long time took to make this a national holiday. So yes, that's right, Jerry. So, it is a great celebration, and I am honored to be a part of this lineage so that we can continue to carry on the great legacy that our ancestors left for us. I have a lot of stuff that I want to share with you all today, and I'm going to try to keep it inside of an hour, but I'm going to keep the music going too. This is the second song. This is the second song on the CD, and it's called La Pureza del Amor de Cristo, and it just means Christ's love so pure. Renato Toms on the percussion. And my homeboy, Six Bones on the drum. Oh, yeah. Bring it on home. Yeah. All right. So that was La pureza del amor de Cristo, which means Christ's love so pure. Oh, it looks like Bishop Jay is on here. Thank you, sir, always for being such a consistent supporter over the years. Tori Lung, thank you for being here. And Sister Jackie, from my Fourth Baptist family, how are you? Thank you for being here. And thank you guys so much. One of the things that I wanted to say about that particular song is that it represents part of the African diaspora. You know, black people are everywhere. I mean, every civilization pretty much started from us, and so we're literally everywhere. But specifically, one of the other things about Jazz in the Spirit that I was intentional about was representing the diaspora beyond just the continental United States. And so the music of Puerto Rico, the music of Cuba, you know, which is, you know, a blend of the African and the European, you know, and the hot sun and the food and the culture and the language and all that. So that was kind of the idea behind that song. That's the reason why I gave it a Spanish title. And I wanted to say something specifically about Styx. That's my homeboy. We've known each other for over 20 years. And hello there, how are you? Thank you for being here. We are going to be performing together for the first time in a long time in Richmond at the Tin Pan, which is a venue here in town, which is known for having national artists fairly regularly. And there are live performances opening up again, amen. So we're going to be featuring, he's the official featured artist, but of course he wanted for something special like this coming to my town. He wanted to bring me in on the performance, and so I'm going to be doing the first half of it, doing the Jazz in the Spirit repertoire, and he's going to be doing the second half of it with his new album, Breaks from the Soul, which you know, has a lot of kind of hip-hop influence, smooth jazz, a lot of stuff that can be sampled by DJs and that sort of thing. And he's a wonderful musician, wonderful producer, great friend, Christian brother. He's my son's godfather. He's a bunch of great stuff. So I hope that y'all can check that out. That is going to be Thursday, August 5th. And so we are very excited about that. And, you know, it'll be kind of a reunion of sorts. So you should expect some magic to bless the stage. It's going to be a really fun time. The performance is from 8 to 10 on that day at the Tin Pan. So you can go to the Tin Pan, I think it's just tinpanrva.com to pick up tickets. And I'll post it on my social media. I'm pretty sure he has too. But I hope that y'all will support. We'll have copies of both of our projects there, Jazz in the Spirit and Breaks from the Soul. And my plan is, originally, I've been talking about my book for a while, and I was really hoping to have it finished by today so we could do the book release, but it just my thoughts were still flowing, and so it wasn't quite finished. So I pushed it back to, for right now, that the working date is Saturday, August 7th. So, if you want to write some of these things down, there are going to be a lot of things I'm throwing out at you all today. But I'm planning to do the book release 2 days after the Tin Pan performance. But if anyone wants to go to the Tin Pan performance, I'm going to bring a couple of copies of the book that you can pick up 2 days early so you can get the kind of advanced release. So I'm going to show you, I hope y'all can see this, a little representation of the cover. Let's see. I think maybe y'all can see that. I'm hoping you can. It's just a print up on a piece of paper. But the official title is Gospel Jazz, Exploring This New Hybrid Style with a Rich Musical History. And I'm so excited about it. I've been working on this. Some would say I've been working on this my whole life. But I am definitely thrilled to be able to share some of the stuff that has been just bubbling in my spirit for years and years, and is a representation of, the stuff that I studied in school and things I've learned since then, people I've met, and so on. So I'm gonna see if I can get this going. This is a little, let's see, do you hear it? Yeah. There is a station that I listen to frequently, called Gospel Jazz Radio, and it's curated by Mr. Rich Germain. And I just like to use it as a backdrop because it's so soothing, and it just kind of puts me in a peaceful spiritual mood. And so I'm going to share just some of the stuff from my book, so you get a little taste of what it's all about. Like I said before, it can be, I do intend for it to be used, in, kind of academic settings, as well as, just general reading. So some of it can be a little thick in terms of the musicology and everything. But I think if you just, you just listen and kind of read and process what you've been reading, I think you'll be all right. So this is a part that I wrote because I have a section of it that is chronicling sort of the progression of time through history from basically about 100 years, from the 1920s, all the way up to the present, which is the 2020s. So there was a group called the Golden Gate Quartet, which began in the 1930s and actually are still together today. So I'm going to share, what I did was I kind of took certain songs that different people did, and I discussed how it is I felt that they have contributed to the history of gospel jazz. So I don't know if I may not read the whole thing because it's a little bit long, but I'll take segments, so just so you can have a little taste of what's going on, because of course I want you to buy the book. No, but so here we go. The world-famous Golden Gate Quartet is one of the oldest gospel quartets still in existence. Created in Norfolk, Virginia in 1934, the group once recorded 14 songs in one session in 1937 in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here is some insightful descriptive information from the African American Registry about the Golden Gate Quartet style. Different from the older Alabama gospel tradition with its trademark dependence on formal song structure and straight-ahead harmonies, Virginia's gospel music was looser and more rhythmic, influenced by such varying sources as the pop group Mills Brothers, the swinging jazz of the Three Keys, and the emotional wailing of area pulpit preachers. Jubilee singing was a bolder and exciting gospel music geared for the body and soul. So in that song, it's a song called Golden Gate Gospel Train, where they make the sounds of trains, and they have this rhythmic figure that I talked about. If you all, I'm not going to duplicate the things that I did then, but if you all look at my May 22nd Saturday Sentiments broadcast. I had on a pink shirt. That was the first time I gave a little taste of my book. So in that episode, I talked about this rhythmic figure. And it was something that I heard in a Jelly Roll Morton song from 1926 that I also heard again in the Jeffersons theme in 1976. So it's a way that history repeats itself. But in this song, the Golden Gate Quartet actually uses that rhythmic figure too. And it's the bass singer. He's boom, 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 boom. And it's really one chord through the whole song. But what I said was, you can hear the influences of jazz, blues, and earlier forms of gospel to be sure. But there is also a forward-facing side to their sound, with razor-sharp precision that only comes from countless hours of singing together a cappella. The Gates, as they have been affectionately nicknamed, created a wide array of rhythmic and harmonic sounds and timbres with only 4 voices. In a similar way to how bebop pushed the sound of jazz from the big band swing emphasis to a small combo, fast tempo, intricate improvisatory emphasis, the Gates pushed the sound of quartet gospel to a more demanding but also more entertaining form of singing. One of the signature trademarks of quartet singing today, especially male groups, is the vamp. The part after the primary message of the song has been delivered, which, very much like the celebration section of a sermon preached in the black church tradition, drives the message home in dramatic fashion, with demonstrative and often emotional improvised lines by the leader, while the rest of the group repeats a single line in response. I believe songs like this laid the foundation for that kind of vamp. The entire song is on one chord. The only big changes the ensemble makes to the rhythm are when they simulate the sound of a train whistle blowing, voicing the same type of long, short, major chord sound a passing train would make, like wow, wow, wow. So, like much of the then new gospel music introduced and made popular by Reverend Thomas A. Dorsey, the song's message is not just some glad morning when this life is over. It's a reference to the song I'll Fly Away, but a here and now message. It uses the metaphor of the gospel train a-coming, the rapture and second coming of Christ, as a warning to sinners of the unpredictability and brevity of life, charging them to get your house in order, i.e. turn from a life of sin to faith in God now before they die or witness the rapture and get left behind. So there's a little taste of the book, and we, like I said, I'm very excited about all that it's coming there, and so look for that on the 7th of August, and it's going to be, for those of you that are in town, or if you might want to take a road trip into Richmond that day, it'll be early in the morning, so you still have time to get back from about 10 o'clock to about 12 noon. So what I'm going to do there, I'm going to hold it at the Black History Museum and Cultural Center, which has a particular significance to me because that was the first place that opened its doors to me when I first came to Virginia way back in 2006. And I had a listening party for Jazz in the Spirit there. And so I'm thankful to them. Since then, they've renovated, they've created a whole big building that's several times the size of the one that was there before. But I'm excited about that. So if you want to write these things down, we've got August 5th is the performance at the Tin Pan, and August 7th for my book release. So I'm hoping that you all will support both of those. And my wife would definitely want me to say that I hope that you all will like, follow, and subscribe, and click the notification bell for Jazz in the Spirit. I'm on all these platforms: Facebook, YouTube is Jazz in the Spirit Video, Twitter, I'm on Twitch, I'm on Instagram, certainly. All of those are Jazz in the Spirit The only one that's different is Jazz in the Spirit video. So I hope that y'all will subscribe because that lets me know who's here. And speaking of subscriptions and YouTube especially, not only is this the 1-year anniversary of Jazz in the Spirit and commemorating the Juneteenth celebration, which was recently made into a federal holiday, it's also 2021 is the 50th anniversary of the writing of the song Because He Lives by William and Gloria Gaither. And why that's significant to me is because I did a video of this song. There was at the 2013 Hampton Ministers Conference, I was participating in the Wendell Whalum recital, and I did an arrangement of Because He Lives. And I won't go into the whole story, but let's just say it was an incredible spiritual experience for me, and it was videotaped. And so that video I posted it in 2014, has since surpassed 25,000 views, which, woohoo, I'm really excited. That is the most watched video that I have. I'm hoping that maybe some other ones will get up there too, but I'm grateful for that one and the comments that people have made and the encouragement that folks have given. I just am very, very appreciative of all of that. And, I just want to say thank you and congratulations to Mr. Bill and Miss Gloria Gaither for that great song that has, been so meaningful to so many people for half a century. So that's another reason to celebrate. Like I said, this day is full of them. One more announcement is that I am working on a Christmas album. So look for that later on in the year. I'm just calling it a Jazz in the Spirit Christmas. So it'll feature for the first time, since he was little, my son, Richard III, on bass as well as guitar, and myself on saxophone, piano, and lots of other things. And some other folks, some special guests. And so that should be some great music that we can have for the holidays. So again, keep following, keep subscribing, keep checking out the posts. And since I haven't been posting that much lately in terms of like weekly stuff, this will be a great time to binge watch the old episodes. We've got Friday Night Inspiration. There may be like 30 of those. I got Saturday Sentiments. I've got Tuesday Talks. And that's some of my Wednesday afternoons broadcasts and some of my movie Mondays. So they're all up there on these different platforms. So that'll give you some insight onto what I've been doing over the past year, especially during this pandemic. So I'm gonna put another song up. This is a song that it's actually number 3 on the recording, and it's called I Am, and it features my dear friend, Miss Wanda Leftwich Branch.
Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and say to them, the God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, what is his name? Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you."
Almighty
God, it's a symphony of praise. Take it back to the melody. We'll slide with it again. Now in English.
Gonna sing your praises. Gonna sing, gonna sing, gonna sing. I'm gonna sing your praises. Sing your praises. Mwenye kuwa nitakuadhimisha wewe. Adhimisha wewe. Mwenye kuwa nitakuadhimisha wewe. I'm gonna sing your praises. I'm gonna sing your praises.
Come on, y'all.
Sing your praises. Sing your praises. Sing your praises. Yes, I will. Adhimisha wewe. Adhimisha wewe. Gonna sing your praises.
Oh, yes, I am. Now, listen, I got to say something here. Thank you for those of you that have joined since I started this. That song is about 7 minutes and 17 seconds long. And probably most of the songs on this album are more than the 4-minute minimum or maximum that radio usually requires. And that's been a challenge in some cases in terms of getting airplay. But I want to say a special thank you to the radio announcers who have taken a chance on Jazz in the Spirit, who have played it, who have interviewed me on the radio or on their podcast or on their TV broadcasts or their combination broadcasts or had me on the show. It means a great deal. And I wanted to say something about, what has been kind of my major goal for this album pretty much since I started it, and that was to raise awareness of gospel jazz in general. What does that have to do with Juneteenth? Well, everything, actually, because the language of jazz is all about freedom. The improvisatory language comes out of the quest for freedom and has been used, many, many times to represent the freedom that the United States claims but doesn't always live up to. And the language of gospel has been used in pretty much every major call for justice, social justice especially. Um, and so fusing those two is definitely connected in the blood to Juneteenth. Um, but I wanted to say that one of my goals, major goal, has been to sell or stream or download, have people download 10,000 units from June 19th of last year to June 18th, yesterday, of this year. Now, I haven't gotten the exact totals. I'm trying to compile all that. It takes a lot longer than I thought to pull the information from a few sources, and so I'm hoping to have that for you for Tuesday. I know we didn't quite get to the 10,000 that we set, but I don't want to diminish in any way the work and the support that you all have provided. It means a tremendous amount, and we have demonstrated that there are people that are very supportive of this music, that are very interested in it specifically, and we want to draw on that. But what the process over this past year has taught me is that I will need to engage the services of a radio promoter, which, is something that I was, trying to see if I could do it without, only because that can be a pretty serious expense on a monthly basis, to the tune of, close to $1,000 a month or something on that order. It can cost a lot, y'all. But that seems to be, at least in the state of the industry today, what a lot of folks have to do to reach a wide enough group of people to be able to generate the kinds of sales that I'm talking about. So it kind of becomes a vicious cycle. You got to spend money to make money and all that kind of thing. But again, you all have been very, very supportive, and I really, really thank you for that. So I'll say more about that in the coming future. I've got a meeting scheduled for this week. And I want to give a special shout out, and just pause, to my dude, Sticks. He's watching on Facebook. So Sticks, if you want to just drop a comment in the chat, I know people would love to hear from you. And just say hello to all of the Jazz in the Spirit fans so they can come check you out and check out that Breaks from the Soul album. Sticks played drums on all but 2 of the albums, and all 3 of the ones that you just heard, he was playing drums on all of those. So so he and I, we're just like that, and I played on his albums too. So when you hear him, you hear me. When you hear me, you hear him. That's just the way it goes. We're just brothers from another mother, So that's coming up in the not too distant future, and I'll say more to you all about that. But I'm hoping that at least as a result of that effort, then we'll be able to reach a larger number of people. But truth be told, why I mentioned the length of the song is because when you go direct to your people, you can make the song just as long or short as you want, and you can give the idea its full expression to develop, to create the arrangement and so on, without having to worry about clipping out this or that, or just, conforming to the format that's out there. So that's the reason why I like to come to you all directly, so you can hear it straight from the source. So once again, if you can just visit Jazz in the Spirit on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, it's Jazz in the Spirit video. Follow, like, subscribe. Join me on this journey. Your support means the world to me, and I literally couldn't do it without you. The other thing is I have an email address called peoplewhomakeaDifference@jazzinthespirit.com. Hey, Ma. My mom's on the line. And I hope that you all will send me an email to let me know what you all are doing. I hope that you all are doing something each week, or at least each month, to try to make a difference in the lives of other people, whether it be something small or something big, doesn't matter. But just recognize that we are all here not just for ourselves, but we are here to make this world a better place. So send me an email, if you can remember, people who make a difference at jazzandthespirit.com. And I'd also like to send you some information about what I'm doing, just to keep you abreast of what's happening. And who knows, you might find a little special piece of music that nobody else has in there or something like that. I've done it once before, and there's no reason why I couldn't do it again. So I want to say a couple of things. I know I'm going to go a little bit past this hour mark, but I hope y'all can hang with me for a little bit longer. Just a couple of things about the symbolism of this flag. You see there's a single star right there, and that is, of course, it represents the Star of Texas. They call it the Lone Star State. But it also is red, white, and blue. And that is to remind everyone that the folks who were enslaved were Americans. Amen, somebody. They were, they were treated as property, but they were Americans and deserving of all the rights and privileges afforded there too, to use that language. The starburst, represents the coming of freedom and the hope of a new beginning. And I don't mind saying that this day has a special significance to me personally, because it also is the birthday of my late grandmother, W. Julia DeBrew. Grandma, I miss you. She was one of a kind, y'all, and she didn't take no tea for the fever, I'm gonna tell you. But she loved completely, and and I'm just delighted, I'm honored to be her grandson, and I keep her legacy alive. That's another reason why this day is a significant one for me. So a couple other things I wanted to share. You know that I have a whole lot of songs that I want to get out there, and some of them have not been released, but I'm going to revisit one of them just to give you a taste of something else. I don't only write saxophone music, as you see, I do vocal music too. But this is a song that I wrote some years back. Sustain pedal, there it is. Oh yeah. Sometimes people have accused Christians of being soft, or just, kind of go along to get along. And then on the other hand, folks have accused them of being like, racist and just, not really real, so to speak. But I want to let you know that the God I serve is absolutely real. And so this song is one that I did some years ago, and it happened as, after kind of a traumatic experience. I was living in Boston at the time, and it was the very first time I had ever been held up at gunpoint. Lord have mercy. Fortunately, I didn't lose anything really valuable. I had my saxophone with me at the time, and I think I had my flute too, but fortunately, he didn't know anything about those. But, and there were some things that were going on at the time in the world that were kind of bugging me. So I wrote a song that's called Take a Stand. And I'm going to do it kind of in my falsetto because my voice is still a little sore from last night's gig. But this is a song called Take a Stand.
Despite whoever may or may not like what I have to say, I'll be a man who'll take a stand for Jesus Christ today.
So it's an ensemble song. Um, but there are a bunch of those that I've written over the years that I'd like to get out there. So I'm calling this decade, after the first, pandemic in 1918. Not too long after that was the decade that they call the Roaring Twenties. And I feel like those two kind of had something to do with each other because folks were kind of sequestered and separated and isolated. And once they came out, there was this like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And I'm starting to feel like we may be ushering in something like that too, another Roaring Twenties in the 2000s. But I'm calling this decade my Roaring 50s decade. Just turned 51 this year, and I don't mind saying it. I'm grateful that, a man that looks like me has been able to make 51, because that's not something that always happens in these United States. So that's a reason to celebrate, too. I'm hoping to put a lot of this music out over the course of this decade, to really start sharing that stuff that the Lord has been giving me. And I hope that you all will support me, will take part in that journey, as I release albums and songs and do performances and so on. It's just my heart coming out. That's all that is, just my heart coming out. Thank you, Ma. My mother said, yes, Grandma is watching over you. Yes, absolutely. I know she is. And there's certain things that I think about, I'm just like, yep, yeah, that's a Julia thing right there. And no, I'm not going to tell you what the W stood for, because she would have a fit if I did. But her first name was not Julia, I'll just say that. But yes, I miss her so much. And, I want to actually do something live, too. We're getting ready to come out of here in not too long. But it wouldn't be to me an appropriate celebration of this day if I didn't share this song. So I'm actually going to break my horn out for a minute and play a little something. So during the month of February, a lot of times I'll do this song, and it has come down to us from James Weldon Johnson and John Rosamond Johnson. It is Lift Every Voice and Sing. It says, God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, thou who hast by thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path we pray, lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. Shadowed beneath thy hand, may we forever stand true to our God, true to our native land. I really want to thank you all. It's not over just yet. I got another song I want to share with you. We're almost there. We're almost there. I know I said I was going to keep it to about an hour, but I wanted to share this one. This is the closing song for the album, and it's just a short one, but it is it's one that features some of the singers who did a wonderful job of contributing to the album. And let me just make sure that I'm going in order here. Hold on. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. I'm scrolling through. There we go. All right. So this is called the Look and Live Reprise Vocal Jam. And so it takes that same theme of Look and Live and it features the vocalist. And another thing, the reason I wore this shirt, this is the shirt that I wore when I took the picture, which has been used on my CD. And, you know, tomorrow's Father's Day. So I want to say a special shout out to my dad, Mr. Richard DeBrew Sr., because, you know, I'm Richard DeBrew Jr., and I got a son, Richard III. So there are three of us. So, you know, and we're all still here, thank God. But this was, my dad took the picture, which is on the cover of my CD. So, Daddy, thank you so much. You know, I love you. And I just want to honor you. And thank you for showing me what being a dad is all about. I really appreciate you. So this is Look and Live, featuring my good friends, Miss Natalie Robinson-Wiley, Miss Shanda Rule, Mr. Corey Durham, and Miss Keisha Whitney.
Look and live, look and live, look and live, look and live, look and live. Oh, look and live, my brother, look and live, look and live, my brother. Look and live, my brother.
Thanks,
Look and live, look and live.
Hey, Brian, what's up, dude? Oh, Keisha.
My brother, look and live, my sister. He wants to save you, yes. He wants to hear you, yes. Look and live, look and live, my brother. Look and live, look and live.
Yeah. Now, the craziest thing is, they probably won't play that one because it's too short. But it's all good. See, that's the reason why we have you all. And so, you know, as we just about come to a close, I want to say a special, special thank you to all of the folks who have just been so supportive over this year, from 2020 till now. I mean, we started in the middle of something that no one has seen in this lifetime, and we've gotten to this point, thank God. Um, excellent. Mom said that my dad would smile when I mentioned him. Well, listen, you know, all those years, all that hard work, you know, as you like to say, day in, day out, day in, day out, it pays off. And I understand now better than I ever have, Daddy. So I got it. um, there are just lots and lots of opportunities to celebrate this wonderful Juneteenth holiday today. So some of them are online, some of them are in person, but just celebrate, just go off today. Just, you know, this is our holiday, you know, and it is going to be what we make it. It's not going to be what anybody else makes it. We have to, the old expression, each one reach one, we have to tell our story, not just his story, if you get my meaning. All right, so that's the only way we're going to ensure that the next generations and the generations to come know exactly what time it is. So let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we will reap if we faint not. You know, that's applicable in Scripture, and it's also applicable in this context. So I hope that you all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you to all the folks that have supported over the, you know, particularly over the course of this year. I really, really appreciate you. Don't stop, because we're going to need you in this year that's coming. And, you know, I'm going to just kind of let the gospel jazz play as we go. Thank you to Mr. Rich Germain. Again, all the folks who have been supportive. Thank you to each and every one of you. You know, some of you don't like to have your names mentioned, but that's all right. I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing you. I want to give a special shout out to Miss Leah Allen in New Mexico. She was one of the first ones to, you know, to really kind of just join on and become a part of this Jazz in the Spirit fan base on Facebook. And also Miss Franzenia June in the DC area. Thank you so much. What could I do without my family? You guys have been the backbone, seriously, seriously. My wife, the Reverend Makiba, who's, you know, helped me so much to try to get this broadcast to look and sound right and be appealing and have, you know, solid content. And I'm pretty sure she's going to give me plenty of feedback about today. But I appreciate her. She just had a birthday too, and this is a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to do this. It's a blessing to be able to see each of you, and I appreciate you. So let's keep it going. Remember the book. It's coming out pretty soon, my gospel jazz book. Remember August 5th, me and Styx, we're going to be at the Tin Pan in Richmond. Remember August 7th, that's the date I have for my book release at the Black History Museum. Get ready for a Jazz in the Spirit Christmas later on this year. And by all means, continue to support the album. It's still available. The CDs, the downloads, the streams, they're all available everywhere. You can go to my website, www.jazzinthespirit.com. And you can also, if you enjoy what you saw today, you can make contributions. Amen. I did tell you that I'm going to be looking into a radio promoter, right? I told you about that. Okay, so yeah. So y'all already know what time it's going to be. But yes, we have, you know, lots of opportunities there. We have the you know, we have Cash App, we have Venmo, we have PayPal, we have Zelle. We even have a P.O. box. You can send a good old-fashioned check. It still works. Make sure it's good, but it still works. And, you know, so I thank you. Thank you so much for spending some of your Juneteenth with me. And for those of you that weren't able to watch live, you can still watch this later on all these platforms. Facebook, YouTube is Jazz in the Spirit video. Twitter, it's just Jazz in the Spirit. As the Periscope video is going to show up there. On Twitch, I don't know if they leave them up. You might have to be live on Twitch, but just keep watching. And of course, Instagram, you guys have been awesome. Thank you all so much. And continue to like, follow, subscribe, and click the notification bell. I'm psyched about these 25,000 views, and let's keep it going, y'all. You know, this is a new year full of promise, and this is year one of my Roaring 50s. Now listen, I'm gonna drop one more thing on y'all before I go. I just learned that my alma mater, Berklee College of Music, has a newly developed master's program in songwriting. Now, they didn't have this when I was there in 1994. I would have definitely done it. I took a bunch of songwriting classes and I made it part of my professional music major, but I'm gonna look into this, y'all, because that one seems like it's got my name on it. So I'll keep you posted about that. And all right, Mike, good to see you. So I hope that you all will continue to keep in touch and let me know what you're doing to make a difference in this world. And let's enjoy our Juneteenth. Woohoo! Get something red in your cup. You don't have to tell me what it is, but this is hibiscus tea. All right, so, but strawberry soda is another really popular one. And if you all haven't seen my video from last year this time, when I first released Jazz in the Spirit, check it out. There's actually two. There's the first one, with the official album release, and then there was an after party. I had two different outfits on and everything. So, you know, I did a litany and a pouring of libation to the ancestors. It was kind of a whole thing that I did. And I thought I worked real long and hard on it. So I hope y'all will check that out. And by all means, enjoy your Juneteenth. Get your Jazz in the Spirit mugs and T-shirts if you like, to help you celebrate. And you know, let's enjoy this day. You know, we have not gotten there yet, but this is a step. So let's enjoy the win. All right, you all have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you soon. All right.